Right now, you probably think you're playing it safe, staying in the job that pays the bills, sticking with the relationship that's familiar, living in the routine that feels manageable. You call it stability, you call it being responsible, you call it the smart choice. But what if I told you that the safe path you're on is actually the riskiest decision you could be making right now? And by the time you realize it, you'll have spent your most flexible, energetic, possibility-rich years building a comfortable prison. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 brutal truths about comfort and stability that nobody talks about. And truth number 5, it's the one that's hardest to accept, but it's also the only one that can actually wake you up before it's too late. Truth number 1, comfort isn't stability. It's stagnation disguised as safety. Here's the first thing you need to understand. The feeling of comfort and the reality of stability are not the same thing. Comfort is what happens when nothing is challenging you, when your days are predictable, when you're not being stretched, tested, or forced to adapt. Stability is having the skills, resources, and resilience to handle whatever comes next, even when it's uncomfortable. Most people confuse the two. They think, I have a steady paycheck, a routine, no major crises, I'm stable. But here's the reality check. If your current situation disappeared tomorrow, the job, the relationship, the living situation, how quickly could you rebuild? If the answer is, I don't know, or it would take years, then you're not stable. You're dependent on a situation that feels comfortable right now, but has made you fragile. Real stability is built through exposure to discomfort, not avoidance of it. The person who's taken risks, failed, adapted, and rebuilt multiple times, they're stable because they've proven to themselves they can handle uncertainty. The person who stayed in the same comfortable situation for 5 years with no disruption, they're one layoff, one breakup, one unexpected change away from collapse. Comfort makes you brittle. Discomfort makes you resilient. And right now, you're probably choosing brittle without realizing it. Comment below, are you choosing comfort or building real stability? Be honest. Truth 2, your 20s have an expiration date on flexibility. Here's what nobody tells you when you're young. The ability to take risks, pivot, start over, experiment. That ability has a timer on it. Not because you get old, but because your life accumulates obligations. In your early 20s, you can quit your job and move to a new city with 2 weeks' notice. You can try a completely different career path. You can fail and recover without it destroying your life. Why? Because you have nothing to lose yet. No mortgage, no dependents, no reputation to protect, no retirement account you're worried about, no established lifestyle you're locked into. That freedom is temporary. Every year you age, every responsibility you take on, every comfort you get used to, the window for big moves gets smaller. By your 30s, most people are locked in, not because they chose a path they love, but because they chose a path that felt safe, got comfortable, and now the cost of leaving is too high. The dangerous part, you don't notice it happening. The comfort creeps in slowly. The golden handcuffs tighten one raise at a time. The lifestyle inflation makes it harder to downsize. The fear of starting over grows every year you stay put. And then one day you wake up at 35, 40, 45, and you realize, I'm not living the life I actually want. I'm living the life I got comfortable in, and now I'm too deep to leave. Here's the truth most people avoid. The safest time to take a risk is when you're young and have nothing to lose. The riskiest time to play it safe is when you're young and have everything to gain. But most people do it backwards. They play it safe in their 20s when they can afford to experiment. Then they try to take risks in their 40s when they have mortgages, kids, and obligations they can't escape. Comment, I'm playing it too safe if it's hitting close to home. Truth 3. Comfortable situations don't just stop your growth, they reverse it. Let's talk about what actually happens when you stay comfortable for too long. You don't just stop improving, you start declining. Here's why. Your brain optimizes for efficiency in familiar environments. When you do the same job for 3 years with no new challenges, your brain stops forming new neural pathways. It automates the tasks. It gets efficient. That sounds good, but here's the problem. Efficiency in a narrow context makes you less adaptable everywhere else. You get really good at this specific job in this specific company using this specific system, but your general problem-solving ability, your creativity, your confidence in unfamiliar situations, all declining. Think about it. How long has it been since you learned something genuinely new and difficult? How long since you failed at something and had to figure it out? How long since you felt truly challenged in a way that scared you a little? If the answer is months or years, you're not maintaining your current level. You're slowly losing skills you don't even realize you had. This is called skill atrophy, and it's invisible until you need those skills again. You stay in the comfortable job for 5 years, then the company restructures and you're out. Suddenly, you're competing with people who've been sharpening their skills in dynamic environments while you were cruising on autopilot. The gap between you and them isn't 5 years, it's exponential, because while they were growing, you were declining. Comfort doesn't preserve you, it erodes you, slowly, quietly, until the moment you need to be sharp again, and you're not. Truth number 4, the opportunity cost of comfort is invisible until it's too late. Here's the most dangerous thing about choosing comfort. You never see what you're giving up. When you choose the safe job over the risky opportunity, you don't get a notification that says, by staying here, you just forfeited the career trajectory that would have made you irreplaceable by 30. When you stay in the relationship that's comfortable but not growing, you don't get an alert that says, you just passed on the connection that would have changed your entire life. When you avoid the move, the pivot, the scary decision, the cost is invisible. Because the cost isn't what you lose, it's what you never gain. Economists call this opportunity cost, and it's the hardest thing for humans to process because it's hypothetical. It's the path not taken, the version of your life that could have existed but doesn't. But here's what's real. Every year you spend in a comfortable situation that isn't pushing you forward, there's a parallel version of you that made the hard choice, and they're 10 steps ahead. Not because they're smarter, not because they're more talented, because they were willing to be uncomfortable. They took the job that scared them. They moved to the city where they didn't know anyone. They started the thing that might fail. They had the conversation that could go badly. And while you were staying comfortable, they were compounding growth. 5 years from now, the gap between you and that version will be so wide you won't even recognize each other. And the brutal part? You won't be able to trace it back to one decision. It'll be the accumulation of 1,000 small choices to stay comfortable instead of choosing growth. Think about it right now. What opportunity are you currently avoiding because it feels too risky? Drop it in the comments. Sometimes identifying it is the first step towards actually doing it. Truth 5. You're not protecting yourself. You're protecting a version of yourself that no longer serves you. This is the hardest one to hear, but it's the most important. When you choose comfort, you think you're protecting yourself, protecting your peace, your mental health, your stability, your current life. But here's what you're actually protecting: a version of yourself that's too small for who you're capable of becoming. Let me explain. The reason change feels threatening isn't because change itself is dangerous. It's because change requires you to let go of the identity you've built. The comfortable job, that's not just a paycheck. It's proof that you're competent, stable, responsible. The familiar relationship, that's not just companionship. It's confirmation that you're lovable, needed, not alone. The predictable routine, that's not just structure, it's evidence that you have your life together. When you think about leaving those things, it doesn't just feel risky, it feels like ego death, because you've built an identity around being the person who has a stable job, or the person in a long-term relationship, or the person who's figured it out. And change threatens that story, so you protect it. You stay, you rationalize, you tell yourself you're being smart, mature, responsible. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The version of you that you're protecting, the one that needs the comfort, that needs the validation from the stable situation. That version is holding you hostage. It's the version that's afraid of uncertainty, afraid of failure, afraid of being judged, afraid of finding out you're not as competent as you thought. And as long as you protect that version, you can't become the version that's actually capable of the life you want. Because the person who has the life you want, they're not afraid of those things. They've already faced them. They've already proven to themselves they can handle uncertainty, failure, judgment, incompetence. You can't become that person while protecting yourself from those experiences. The comfort you're clinging to isn't protecting your future, it's protecting your past self from having to grow. And every day you choose that protection, you're choosing to stay small. Comment, "I'm protecting the wrong version of myself," if this one hit. Here's what ties all of this together. The only way to build real stability is to go through periods of deliberate instability. Not chaos, not recklessness, but strategic discomfort. Taking the job that stretches you beyond your current skill level, moving to the place where you don't have a built-in support system and have to build one from scratch, starting the project that might fail publicly, having the conversation that could change everything, leaving the situation that's comfortable but stagnant. These aren't acts of self-sabotage, they're investments in your future stability. Because every time you navigate discomfort successfully, you prove something to yourself. I can handle more than I thought. I can adapt. I can rebuild. I can survive uncertainty. And that proof is what makes you truly stable. Not the paycheck, not the relationship, not the routine. The internal knowledge that no matter what happens, you'll figure it out. That's real stability. And you can't buy it. You can't inherit it. You can't fake it. You can only earn it by repeatedly choosing discomfort over comfort. Let me be very clear about something. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow or blowing up your life. It's about asking yourself one honest question. Am I choosing comfort because it's actually serving my future, or am I choosing it because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't? If it's the first one, if you've assessed the risk, you're actively growing, and the comfort is strategic, great, keep going. But if it's the second one, if you're staying because it's familiar, because leaving feels too hard, because you're afraid of failing or being judged or starting over, then you're not playing it safe, you're gambling with your future. Because comfort always feels safe in the short term, but over time, it makes you fragile, dependent, and unprepared for the inevitable moment when the comfortable situation ends. And it always ends. The layoff comes, the relationship ends, the industry changes, the comfortable path disappears. And when that happens, the only question that matters is, did you build the skills, resilience, and adaptability to handle it, or did you spend those years staying comfortable? If you're realizing right now that you've been choosing comfort over growth, here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Step 1. Name the comfortable situation you're protecting. Identifying it goes a long way. What's the job, relationship, living situation, or routine that you know isn't pushing you forward, but you're staying in because it feels safe? Write it down, say it out loud, acknowledge it. Step 2. Ask yourself what it's actually costing you, not what you're losing in the present, what you're forfeiting in the future. What skills aren't you developing? What opportunities aren't you taking? What version of yourself are you not becoming? Step 3. Identify one small move toward discomfort. You don't have to quit everything tomorrow, but you do need to take one step that scares you a little. Apply for the job you don't think you're qualified for. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Start the project you've been putting off. Move to the city you've been dreaming about. Just one move, one decision, one choice toward growth instead of comfort. Step 4. Repeat. Because this isn't a one-time thing. It's a practice, a pattern, a way of operating. The people who build extraordinary lives don't do it through one big, brave decision. They do it by consistently choosing discomfort over comfort, growth over stagnation, possibility over protection. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Your 20s are not a rehearsal. They're not a waiting period before your real life starts. This is it. This is the time when you have the most energy, the most flexibility, the most potential, and the least to lose. And you're spending it being comfortable, playing it safe, protecting a version of yourself that doesn't need protecting, avoiding the very experiences that would make you unstoppable. 5 years from now, you'll look back and think, I'm so glad I took that risk when I did. I'm so glad I chose growth over comfort. I'm so glad I didn't stay small. Or you'll think, I wish I had done it when I had the chance. I wish I hadn't been so afraid. I wish I hadn't wasted those years staying comfortable. The choice you make today decides which one it'll be. So I'll ask you one more time. Are you building real stability through discomfort, or are you clinging to comfort while your future potential slowly dies? Drop a comment right now. Which truth hit hardest? Which one are you going to act on first? And if you know someone who's stuck in comfortable stagnation, send this to them. Sometimes the wake-up call needs to come from outside. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more uncomfortable truths that we need to tell ourselves. See you in the next one.